changes each week, but there is always something going on. Special events, if you look, is like 3/4 of the list this month. Everything from, like I said, Thursdays is different. We've got Bada Bing Bada Boom is our storytelling night next week. The other thing that's really, really exciting, I need to start poking a few of you who haven't yet, is starting mid-July, and so we're starting the sign-ups today, if you haven't signed up already, is kickball. Yes, I just said kickball. I know. Goodness. I know. It's exciting. It'll be fun. It's mid-July through mid-September. We're going to get an Inspire team together. So we've still got some openings. It's $55 plus like a $1.50 service fee. Who cares? And it's for 8 weeks, and you get to go have fun.
Like cool names.
Also think
I liked Cat, right? But someone did it last year, so like, I think maybe a course in kickball.
I like that one. Course in kickball. Yeah. So, and then a side note, which is also a recurring event, Jacob Glenn, one of the things because that he has asked that we switch that to a morning event. So that will be at
All right. Come on. Come on in. Don't you know there's a limited amount of love in the world? And if we use it all up on the meet and greet, then what are we supposed to do? If it's your first time here, raise your hand and stand up. Christopher, goat, please. I'm joking. There's no goats. But stay standing. We do a little thing. We raise our hands to you and we say, welcome to Inspire Spiritual. We know who you are. You're a beautiful and unique way. Is expressing itself on this planet. We see you. We love you. And we welcome. Kelly's gonna give you a welcome. You can fill it up and get opportunity. There's one more. Well, first of all, marriage equality. Did Kelly go what? Oh, just married. Married? I mean, I can't. What a wonderful. It was. We were at a bookstore yesterday, and we were looking around, and there was at least 3 magazine covers with trans women on them, and I was just like, wow, we are definitely. Let's talk about the movement. Like, what? One of the things that we do here at Inspire, which is quite very favorite things, because if you take layers of things we do, all the classes that we offer, like that, we're here to be of service, here to be a loving in the LGBTQ and beyond, just the community, the global community. The way that we celebrate that, we align with our mission is and listening, harvesting the wisdom, and that's the key element. Harvesting the wisdom of our elders, those who went before us, those who laid the foundation for Friday's Supreme Court decision to be built upon. And So I'd like to tell you about a very exciting workshop that we have coming up on July 12th. And I'm going to invite every single person to attend. It's at M right here after service. July 12th is a Sunday. And Fred Wilkie and Alan Page will be facilitating the workshop. And both Fred and Alan are of the Gay Elder Circle. And they have both sat on the panel, Ask the Elders panel event. And they are gifting us this wonderful workshop and have said that they would, all proceeds earned from the workshop will go back to inspire work that we're doing here. So I'm going to bring to come up today. Alan's going to come next week and talk a little bit more about the workshop. But let's all hear it for Fred Wilkie.
Alan Page and I are both spiritual nutcases from a young age. And, okay, I'm a psychologist up on this third floor here. When clients come into the office, one of the first things I tell them is, look, I want to make psychotherapy not just a week process, but a 7-day week. And so I give them a lot of tools and practices and et cetera to help them integrate what we do into a daily practice so that they learn to process themselves. My job is to make myself unnecessary. So in the same way for spirituality, it's not enough and listen to fantastic spiritual messages if you kind of go through a very illness as soon as you leave the so the idea is, what can we do to make spirituality part of our everyday, ordinary life? The fact is there's an awful lot. And Alan and I come from very different backgrounds. And so we're going to try to impart some of that to you. And the idea is what will resonate. It's all a matter of what you pick up. So 1-minute blurb example of what we're going to do. Have something around that reminds you of whatever the divine is for you. It might be a tattoo. It might be a spiritual statue. It might be that you say a mantra with. It might be that has some particular meanings for you. Keep something around. You can do more than one. It's nice to have something on your body when you go through your day, because the statue probably stays at home. Of the divine in your life, okay? Reminds you of the divine. At some point, Jesse is going to get bangles for Inspire LA Spiritual Community in that unbelievable purple. Anyway, so
that's not me.
it is finding reminders, daily reminders. Ordinary life need not be ordinary. Ordinary life can be spiritually extraordinary, all about. And that's what we're trying to do the workshop on Sunday, July 12th. Thank you for watching.
For a second, come up here and Brian. Bucchiarelli, our resident elder and practitioner, and not, I say old guy. And I'm going to invite anyone else was alive and remembers clearly as Stonewall was unfolding. Yeah, Tom, come on up. Well, everyone, I'm going to invite you to these people and say thank you. Thank you for creating for this to be built upon. We see you. We're here to and lift you up. Anything you need, you can ask for. And we love you. Now let's all just take a moment to just close our eyes and just send love to people who were the trailblazers that did create the path for us, that did create the foundation for us to build this community upon today. They're the reason that we're here today, and they symbolize one that went before us. And let's just take a deep breath in and place a hand on our heart. Just feel the love that's been expressed and is continuing to grow as we continue to deepen our commitment to love ourselves. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everyone. And with that, I think that's a perfect to bring up Miss Amina Sanchez to lead us through our grounding and meditation. So go ahead and turn your noisemakers to silent.
Thank you, Jesse, for making me cry before I have to come up here. I do want to say what a beautiful this is, and I'm so grateful that we're celebrating it. So let your eyes gently close, uncross your arms and legs. Make yourself an open and available channel for spirit to pass through. Take a breath of love and gratitude. Just feeling this love expanding in your heart. And let us imagine a small ball of bright white light rotating clockwise at the center of your chest, in your heart center. And as you place your attention on this ball of light, it begins to expand. This beautiful white light, ever expanding, filling your chest. Your entire just light flows up past your shoulders, into your neck, and completely fed. This white light continues to flow, and it goes your arms into your hands, and this white light expands more. This light filling your entire torso, moving down past your hips into your legs and toes until your is consumed in this brilliant white light. Every bone, every muscle, every organ, every cell, atom, and electron being is so saturated in this brilliant white light. And we can feel the effect of light on our physical, our cell. We feel light. And we know that this light is restoring, rejuvenating. It raises our vibration to its natural state, the high frequency of divine love. And this white light continues to expand beyond our physicality into our auric field, 3 feet all around us. It rips or tears in the aura. Beautiful, brilliant light continues to expand until our individual light merges with the light of every person in this room, creating a unified field of healing light energy. And from floor to ceiling, this is soaked and saturated in this light. Light is cleansing and clearing away anything that is and lifting everything up. And like a wave until it reaches the beach, it seeps into the ocean, instantaneously enveloping the entire planet. Healing light energy saturated this brilliant white light, this healing light of love, uniting every living being. And in this light, all appearances of war and poverty, disease, injustice dissolve and disappear. For when the light appears, the darkness must fade. And in a moment, as if a switch had been flipped, we can see the planet, the universe, everything in the beyond that we can comprehend and more is one in this light, healing light of love. And we know we're home, free. We're one with perfect love, and that is all that we can be. And so there is nothing to do. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing to earn to accept and receive this love. You are that. And we just allow it to be. Father, Mother God, Holy Spirit, divine love, infinite wisdom, all that there is. How grateful we are to join together in our beloved community, Inspire Spiritual Community, where we feel inspired. We feel the love that is being expressed, that is flowing. We feel the gratitude for all of equality. So grateful to join together to celebrate our commitment to expressing more love every day. We're so grateful to commit to being world peace with ourselves. We're creating from within. This is it. And so we make a holy offering of anything that blocks the awareness of love's presence in our life, anything that could impede our commitment to love and peace and truth, anything that no longer serves our path of light, any relationships that are heavy, we release them now fully and completely. We let go of anything that's troubling, worrisome, or difficult, all fear or doubt, all thoughts of lack and limitation, unworthiness. It's just not true. It can never be true. And we stand and declare our oneness and perfection in God. We know that we are limitless love, that we are infinite possibilities, that we are worthy, that we are brilliant, beautiful, perfect, whole and complete this moment and every moment. Perfect health is our natural state. Abundance is our natural state. Free natural state. How grateful we are to know this truth of our being. And we share the benefits of our healing and our life of love with everyone. We bless them and know that it is perfect, that we are the perfect configurations of souls to join together on this day of celebration, of sharing, of understanding the truth. We bless every note of music, every song, every word, every thought. Everything generated in this space is grounded in love and spirit, compassion, wholeness, peace, freedom, joy, bliss. This is what we're calling forth. This is what we're claiming today. And the benefits of this with everyone, because we are one. In grace and gratitude, allow it to be. We let it be, and so it is. Amen.
It's such a powerful prayer. I mean, thank you. I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one in here, but like, I feel like I actually like heard the call. Like, like, I was like, my God, like, else, like, I'm ready to pick it up and just say, hello, what will you have me do? So we're going into the music and celebratory portion. We have the infinite, like, talented Richard Ogawa perform for us today. But first, before Richard goes, And with that hair, it's just everything. It really is great. No, I'm, and my husband is a writer and a scholar, and he's really good at it. Part of what how he's blessing the world is he is hosting here now the second Thursday of every month a storytelling night, and we just had our first storytelling night last month, and it was awesome. And I invite everybody to check it out. 8 p.m. second Thursdays right here. It's hysterical, and so to share a little bit about what's going on, I'm going to have Chris introduce last month's. I won't say winner because there's no winners because there's no competition, but the woman, the talented artist whose story was voted story of the night, and she walked home with a huge cash prize, right? So I'm going to introduce our artist, and you're going to get a little taste from Bada Boom.
Hi guys. That's my husband. I don't know, we're married in 50 states. And I said to him in the airport, I think we're married here. So I'm just getting this set up for Sheila. As Jesse said, we had a story night here, Bada Bing, Bada Boom, and there's going to be another one on July 9th. We did it because I love those storytelling nights, and there's things about them that I wanted to bring here. And is this working? Yeah. And yeah, we had 4 invited storytellers, and then we had 4 names that were drawn. Everybody told like a 5 to 7 minute story. They were all great for different reasons. Some of them were moving, some of them were hysterical, some of them were hysterical and moving, but it's a fun night, and the center made money, you know, we pay rent here, so it's all good stuff. So come again on July 9th, and I'm going to introduce Sheila Ratner, who's a friend of mine. As Jesse said, she won the, she did win, because there's none of the other people are here. She won the favorite story of the night, and she's going to get up and she's going to tell you that story, and so I'm going to bring up Sheila Ratner. Come on up. Is this, yeah? Okay. Whatever you want to do. I want you to
Actually, use the mic because the people on the computer can hear you.
Oh, there's what's going on live stream.
Okay, good.
I don't know how.
It's perfect.
Is it good?
It's great.
Hold on.
Perfect.
Give me 1 minute. It just is falling apart. Come here.
It's fine. Just
No, this thing fell off.
You don't want to drop the mic on it before it's here?
Exactly. I'm sorry. I ruined everything. Ladies and gentlemen,
All right.
Sheila Ratner.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Several years ago, I read an article about Brian Wilson, the former Beach Boy, member of the Beach Boys, and he had lived for 7 years in his beach house in his bathrobe with only his therapist, never leaving. This sounds incredible to understand what depression feels like, because it sounded great to me. So I was kind of having one of those mornings in LA where I felt like staying in my bathrobe and not going out. Just feeling overwhelmed by LA, and you know, if you build it, they will come, and I built it, so where the hell is everybody? I'm also a member of an ongoing email of gratitude lists among a lot of women, and I was just angry at all of them because they were doing so much better than me. Just vilifying women on a gratitude list, which is not the best way to start your day. It's like everybody has everything except me. And my cell phone dinged with a text, and a week earlier I had submitted, I'm on LA Casting, I'm a performer, and I'd submitted my picture and resume for a mascot audition for a ladies basketball team. Women, sports, free tickets to the WNBA, a giant animal costume. It just seemed like I might want in the world and more. So I looked at my cell phone and I thought, oh God, the last thing I want to do today is be Sparky, you know. But in that moment, a week had passed, feeling so down that day, and I just felt like, you know what? I feel like something is sending me there, and something is telling me to go there and do this and just get out of my Brian Wilson bathrobe and go do this. So it was an open call. It just was a reminder open call auditions, 11 a.m. It was this nondescript office building in Playa del Rey, where all mascot auditions happen. So I drove down there, I got some parking, I started walking in, and I saw this big Sparky this way, and I was like, I'm not even sure what I'm doing. I moved a lot as a kid to foreign countries and back, so I had a real need constantly to be accepted whenever I returned, and I loved football and the NFL. I was always trying to be American, and I kind of feel like mascots always, I felt like when I went to UCLA in the early 1800s, them, can I be a mascot? They said you have to be 5'4" or under, and I was like, I'm too tall to be a mascot, but it just seemed like the rah-rah kind of answer I wanted. So I've always been intrigued by mascots. So I walked in, this very pretty young lady in Paige checked me in. She gave me a series of papers to sign, sort of medical releases in case something happened. This was my first clue that I might be in above my head. So I walked over, and two incredibly long-legged, very fit black men in plastic pants with tank tops were stretching. And I was like, oh, I don't know that I'm at the right audition here. These are like, it looked like So You Think You Can Dance. So they were leaning, stretching, and talking about trampolines, something I'd never taken, fist bumping and regaling each other with stories of their Miami dance crew. Then more men walked in. I felt like J-Lo. Just these gorgeous Latino and black men were walking in, dancers, and then me, 40-ish, plump lady, obviously a dance audition. Then a little person came in on a scooter, because it's LA, wheeled up to the sign-in sheet. So I walked over to Paige. I said, listen, there seems to be a lot of really fit people here. I'm in my 40s. I've got a little belly. I'm a stand-up. I'm not sure if I'm going to hurt myself. And she goes, you know what? You drove all the way to Playa del Rey. Just stay. I said, do you have the head of the mascot here? She said, no, why? And I said, I see you're taping the auditions, and I'd like to remain anonymous because, as we all know, once something's on the internet, there's no taking it back. So, again, I just was like, you can leave in shame and get back into your pod, or you can stay here and see what happens. At that point, a pretty heavy-set Russian man with tiny teeth who seemed out of his mind in his 60s walked in. And I was like, all right, somebody else who's underqualified. That makes me feel better. Right at the end, a young lady came in, teeny. I mean, maybe 100 pounds in dance clothes, and announced she was visiting from Tokyo. I was like, okay. So we all lined up, and then this woman walked in with an entourage. She looked like a former Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, very fit. She had some people with her, all girls who looked like either athletes or dancers. They sat down at a table. It was like like something you'd see on American Idol. It was a judge's table. She said, good morning, dancers. I was like, good morning. Okay, I'm just going to own this, Line up. I'm going to give you all the same piece of music and the same amount of time because I want to level the playing field because I know your dance skills vary. I'm like, they certainly do. Probably going to have a heart attack before the end of this audition. So the first fellow went up. He did things. I don't know if you've ever been to the Santa Monica Pier, places they have street performers where they're just on one hand and things are happening to their body that don't seem physically possible. Leaping. The second one was leaping all over the place. But she asked him if he had any experience. He said, I was the Harlem Globetrotters mascot for 5 years. I was like, oh, these people have resumes. Obviously, this is not going to happen. She got to me and I said, good morning. I don't have a Miami dance crew per se. I had a delicious mojito in Miami once with a young Ashley. I don't know if that counts. So she said, okay. I said, I just want to say now I'm not a dancer, So she said, I get it. You have 45 seconds. Entertain us, Sheila. Just entertain us. So Pump Up the Volume was the music. I don't know if you've been to a lot of sports stuff at Staples, but that's generally the traditional, And it started, this music. And for the first 5 seconds, I was frozen like a deer. And I was all of a sudden, I was like, my God, what are you doing? Up until then, I was sort of lured in by Paige because she was pretty, and then the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. It was all a dream. And then I was like, this is happening right now. And there are real people behind you watching you, and somebody's videotaping it. So for the first 5 seconds, I just stood there, and I was like, you have to live, participate, and do this right now. So I started by high-fiving all of them. I jumped up and down for no apparent reason. The mascot is a dog, I should mention. Sparky the dog, because it's L.A. Sparks. I got on all fours and urinated on a houseplant. I was like, I'm just going to be the dog right now. I walked over and humped Paige's leg, kind of a nonverbal cue that I'd like to see her after the audition. Walked back over on all fours, whacked my tail. I was like, how can this is the longest 45 seconds of it can't pump up the volume, Papa. I was like, it's still going on. So I just sort of jumped up and down aimlessly and then lay on the floor and yelled belly rubs because I just was like, I'm just gonna be the dog. Traditionally, as you know, dance isn't traditionally a verbal form of art. But this is me doing this. Finally, you know, like a torture at Guantanamo Bay, she turned the music off. It was over. I stood up, and the silence, you know, was palpable. There was just a very long moment of sort of shock and awe. I could feel the people behind me, you know. And she was like, wow, thank you. I said, you're welcome. But I sort of got back in line, and I felt like I'd seen chorus line tons of times. I'm like, I'm a dancer. By then, I just sort of convinced myself. I was like, I'm supposed to be here, you know? So a couple of more people went and did incredible things. A little person did some sort of zany stuff with his scooter. The Russian man was insane indeed and jumped up on the judge's table and terrified them. Right at the end, the lady from Tokyo did most sexual dance I've ever out of a strip club. It was nothing Sparky would ever do. Let me put it that way. It wasn't mascotty at all. It was like I felt like I should stick like $1 in her pants or something. It was so disturbing for all of us. It was not a mascot dance. So we all had numbers, you know. So she said, I'd like you all to gather over there, and there's going to be a second round with an interview. And I was like, oh, they'd started with that because I'm verbal. That would have been good. So I started to put my stuff back in my bag, and she came for the second round. I said, me? And she goes, yeah. I said, all right, let's see what happens. So she keeps 5 of us, me and 4 gorgeous, completely appropriate. And I mean, who should have been doing this job. And she says, I want to talk to you first. You guys go outside. So they went outside. I sat down, and she said, thank you for making my morning. I said, you're very welcome. There's no easy way to say this. She said, you lack the dance skills for this position. Please, Lindsay, don't feel as if you're breaking my heart. I said, I've been in a bit of a funk. I needed to get my mojo back, and I drove down here to get my mojo back, and it's back. So that's all I needed to do. She goes, wait, I'm not done. We want you to work for the LA Sparks organization. We don't know how. We don't know what position we're going to create. We want you to work with us. You entertain. Yes, thank you so much. Left. Went to a Sparks event. She gave me 5 tickets to their first home game. Floor seats, about 5 rows back from Magic Johnson. The mascot ran up to me and high-fived me, now recognizing me. The guy with the Harlem Globetrotters resume got it, of course. I have pitched her 3 different ideas. We're now talking about what I'm going to be doing at the LA Sparks organization. I don't know what took me to that audition that morning. I don't know what drove me there. But I will say, when you're lying in bed feeling like Brian Wilson and you want to stay in your bathrobe all day, get your dress. Application interview that you're completely underqualified for. Show up and live. Connect. It matters. Thanks.
How good is she? Yay! You are so great. So that's what happens at Bada Bing Bada Boom. Shameless promotion. There's another one on July 9th. Get your tickets. That's exactly what happens. You're so great. I can't even tell you. Like, that's just why we wanted to do stuff like that. You're so beautiful, and that was such a great story. And if you have a story, if you know somebody who has a story, come to me, contact me, come put your name in. come talk to me about it. If you want, you can come and rehearse here with me and use the mic. I'm more than willing to make myself available if you want to work on something like this. And again, Sheila, thank you so much.
Hi, guys. It's going to be a tough act to follow. I wrote this yesterday, so we'll see how it goes. Jimmy loves Timmy. Jenny loves Sue. A wondrous a world now that they can say I do. Jimmy loves Timmy, Jenny loves Sue, and love is, love is, love is me and you. Mama was worried I'd end up all alone, 'cause the world was unkind, it was all we'd ever known. But times are a-changin' there to see that love is, love is, love is you and me. Love is like a rainbow. Follow your heart. Love is like a songbird. Sing it loud. Sing it 'cause Jimmy loves Timmy. Loves Sue. How wondrous a world now that they can say I do. Oh, Jimmy loves Timmy and Jenny loves Sue, and love is, love is, love is me and you. Jimmy loves Timmy, Jenny loves Sue. How the world now that they can say I do. Jimmy loves Timmy and Jenny loves Sue, and love is me and you. Love is, love is, love is me and you. Love is all, and all is me and you. Thank you.
Richard Ogawa. This place is awesome, isn't it? We have a lot going on. We have so much good and so many gifts to share in this community. Just rock. And Jennifer Hadley was leading our practitioner call yesterday, our class yesterday. She comes in and she teaches once a month. It's a way for me to honor my teaching and also to give the practitioners the experience of really listening to a master teacher do her thing, and she truly is masterful. And she said exactly what I was feeling, that this decision, this historical decision out of SCOTUS was evidence of our willingness to love ourselves. In spiritual community here at Inspire, we teach that our life's experience is an outward expression of an inward condition. Our thoughts and our feelings, our beliefs create the life around us. So it's really phenomenal to think that just in 1969 is kind of technically in history when they kind of pinpoint the emergence of the LGBT community. That's when we sort of unified and came out as a community. And since that time, and it hasn't been very long, have not only become very visible, but I don't have to tell you, now we have across the board the right to marry. And it was never about marriage. It was about the word marriage. It was a word that meant something. That word symbolized something. It was that word, the word was the key that opened up the opportunity for tax-paying adults to have the same rights as all other tax-paying adults. That members of this nation get to all be treated equally on paper, legally, right? Now, of course, there's still work to be done in all realms, okay? Not just one thing that I think as the LGBTQ community that we all get to do is realize that LGBTQ issues don't just pertain to the LGBTQ community. As we see, there's been this beautiful emergence of sort of a new wave of feminism where women are very masterfully sharing and expressing literature and art that are sort of depicting ridiculous ways that we treat them. And I feel like that is a wonderful healing that is unfolding in our our consciousness as well too. But consider that everything, and what is that about? That is an outward expression of an inward condition. Women are no longer interested in being overly sexualized, underpaid, and ridiculed, right? And so what is emerging is their acknowledgement, I think the collective acknowledgement of how ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is that? And it is manifesting as Amy Schumer, who is in a very funny and tongue-in-cheek sort of way, pointing out ridiculous the sexism in our country is, and just hysterical. Anyways, that's my little pitch for Amy Schumer. So, but today is a day of celebration. Celebrate the work that we have done. We get to honor the inward glances that we have all taken individually and collectively as a community. And I just want to bow to each and every one of you. We have had such a wonderful journey together as this community. We began just realizing that, to have a relationship with God, with a higher power, we were sort of reintroducing ourselves to that possibility. Like we had to get back together with God. I've shared many times from this place that it feels like many of us felt like we had to divorce the God we grew up with to be ourselves, the God that was going to condemn us to, an eternity in hell just for simply being us. And so we had to get reintroduced to a new God, a God that is infinitely loving, non-judgmental, understands that we are all one and we are perfect, whole, and complete the way we are, and we just had to start believing it ourselves. So that was the first sort of leg of our journey, our spiritual community. And then working through the learning curve that Proposition 8 gave us, learning how to see those who seemed to oppose us as our teachers, learned how to develop true compassion, practice true forgiveness, used that as a tool to help us heal our own internalized homophobia. How did we do that? Well, whenever we were triggered by anything that they said, we were able to explore and see what part of us believed that it was true or was afraid that it was true. Once we were able to do that, bringing that to the surface, releasing it, no longer interested in carrying that baggage around with us anymore, we were free to simply practice compassion, to see that they too are children of the divine, extensions of perfect love, perfect, whole, and complete the way they are, but they're just scared or they're confused. And are we going to condemn our brothers and sisters for being scared and confused? How many times have we acted out of being frightened or fearful or confused, right? And now we're not going to throw the stones. They are glass houses, right? But we can love them. We can hold the space for them to love themselves so they can start loving us. And we can get to what it is we're here to do, right? Our mission statement says our intention is to create world peace, piece by piece. Well, we can't create world peace unless we feel peaceful ourselves. Because if everything is an outward, what do you think has to happen in order for us to actualize world peace? A feeling of peacefulness, right? And so this is where our journey continues. We will continue to remove blocks that are preventing a feeling of peacefulness now. And when I say the blocks that are preventing the feeling of peacefulness now, it's the thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs, and the unloving habits that keep us in discomfort, that keep us just discontented enough, that keep us in just enough longing. The habits of comparing ourselves to other people, the habits of coveting what other people have. That's a belief in lack and not enough. And it's that unworthiness, that belief in lack, that causes wars. So we will release the feelings of lack, of limitation, and unworthiness in our own lives so that we can express peacefulness and love and compassion in our lives, communities, and then it's contagious. Isn't that good to know that love is contagious, right? So, and love is the great healer. And all healing is done at the level of the mind. What I mean by that is all healing is done at the level of mind because everything is an outward expression of an inward condition. So we must heal the mind in order for us to create a new experience out there in the world. So are you guys ready to continue the work? Yeah. Yes? Yeah. Continue to, think about it. If marriage equality is possible, think about what else is possible. Not only for the LGBTQ and A community, but for the global community. We're on to something here. So, thank you so much. So let us continue to do this work, this inquiry, inward glances, becoming aware and mindful when we are activated so that we can release it and we can enjoy our lives and invite others to do the same. But let's share. We have a little time, so I'd like to just open up the floor for people to just share their thoughts of gratitude, a story that they'd like to just share with everybody else. Anything that's been coming up, any aha moments? Amina, go ahead.
Yay. I just wanted to share, because I know this marriage equality has been a personal issue for many of you, everyone here in some way, and I'm an ally, but my mom is gay. And when I was growing up, she was in the closet my whole growing up. She was a teacher in Bakersfield, California in the 70s and 80s, and she could not be who she was. It was not safe for her to be who she was. And she and her partner, her wife, have been married in 2 states. They got married in Oregon when it was legal for a little while, a couple days, I think it was legal. And then it was overturned, and they got married in Bakersfield right before the election in 2008. And then when Prop 8 went down, it was overturned, their marriage is legal. But now they are married in all 50 states. And I just want to thank her when we were thanking our elders and those who went before and those who sacrificed and who didn't get to see this moment. And I just want to thank my mom and everybody else who had to be in the closet for their own protection or who was afraid. I want to say thank you, and I love you all, and I'm so grateful to be in this moment with all of you.
Well, I want to say how grateful I am too for marriage equality and that we are able to be married legally in 50 states. I remember I was 11 years old when the Stonewall riots happened. And it was just the day that they had the funeral, that was on a Friday in New York City. And I remember how you know, people, especially in the gay lesbian community, and I didn't really know and understand what that was, but somehow I felt a connection. I don't know how. At that time, I just felt a connection. And I remember when the Stonewall riots happened, and they happened over 3 days, and it was the police were coming and they were going to arrest everybody in the club there, and to take them off. Well, you had all of these drama queens, and you had a lot of queens, and I mean that not as any type of derogatory thing, but because, you know, these people, they were acting like it. I mean, they were dressed in drag and all of this stuff, and you know, they took off their high heels, some of them, and really they locked the police into the Stonewall club there for 3 days, and they rioted, you know, and it was something like, it was a change. But people forget too, you know, they talk about the Stonewall riots as the starting point. Well, we had the Wild Cat Club here in LA. I think it was in Silver Lake at the time. And that was in 1967 or 68, I can't remember exactly. But they had pretty much the same thing, you know, where they did not put up with the police. And LA was very homophobic at the time, and the police chief. And even when they started to have their first parade here in 1970 to commemorate it, the police chief didn't want to issue the permits. They had to go to court, and the court said, yes, they are entitled to have their parade. So the police chief had to back down. He had to provide the police to up, you know, for security and stuff on Hollywood Boulevard. No. So it was something, you know, that the LA parade, that was the first official parade of any of the parades. And no, we get to celebrate that. That's why I ever since 1993 was my first parade and my first festival. And I have not missed one since, because I feel that is my time to connect with the community, to be myself, to throw out, you know, throw caution to the wind, so to speak. You know, I'll dress a lot of times. Last year I dressed in just my Speedos on the Sunday. I had more people just stop me and to take a picture of me. I'm not exactly in the best of shape. You know, I don't look like somebody off of the LA Lakers or the Clippers, because I don't really like the Lakers. The Clippers are my team. But anyway, that you know, I don't have that type of body, but I like it. You know, and it's a joy to be a part, and I thank you.
I will just say briefly that, you know, I was at work this week on CNN. I just saw, you know, same-sex marriage legal in 50 states. And it really took my breath away. I mean, I never thought I would be married, like, growing up. It was something that I just never thought would happen, just because it was unheard of. And I remember when I went on my first date with Jesse, I remember we were at Fryman Canyon, and he said over his shoulder to me, "How do you feel about marriage and kids?" On our first date, you were leading with this? But
Yes, I was.
This was after, you know, he told me that he ran a church, and I was like, all right, let's get it all out there, you know? And I was like, let's go, you know? But engaged to be married when Prop 8 was lifted, and we were getting married anyway. We were planning a wedding, and the proposition was repealed, and suddenly it became very real, you know. And it's a really moving thing. I was really moved this week. I can't imagine having gotten married like in front of family and in front of my community. A lot of you were there, and have that not have been legal. But it was just so short a period ago that it wasn't legal, and it's just such a beautiful moment. And you know, it brings up a lot. Like I even noticed, like on Facebook, when I saw all of the profile people's pages that people were putting up, like people weren't gay, and it was like there was a lot of people I noticed were like from my small town, that it was for me, like I was their person that they were showing their support for. And it's just a great moment, you know, to see the White House bathed in rainbow colors. It's just like we really, to sit in this moment and just like feel this love after feeling all this whatever we have felt before is just a really powerful moment, and I'm just so happy that I'm alive for it. So that's it.
Hey everyone, I'm Brandon. I've been crying a lot more than normal this weekend. Thank you so much for leading with the thank you to the elders. Thank you, Tom, for that history. I to first becoming an activist as a young adult, learning about the Compton cafeteria riot, Stonewall, the Daughters of Bilitis, who were the first national organization in the 50s, trying to really make something happen, and no one was like listening to them, and they had to meet fearfully. And you know, there was a little bit of a setback from especially in Europe, from World War II. You know, there was a lot of progress in places like Germany, and then there was a lot of things being pulled back after that. So to move forward after having so many setbacks was the natural progression of our. It's been such a powerful process, and I've been so ingrained in the idea that, you know, we are the gifted teachers, and we are gifted because we are by our own stories of trauma and transcending those. And I'm so grateful that I was able to grow up in a world where I did have a small group. Margaret Mead talks about a small group of people changing the world. That I was able to grow up in a world and have my spirit commune with that small group of people. So I knew right away who I was and what I was meant to be. You know, I even struggled with it, and I was disowned by my parents for being gay, and I still don't have a relationship with them. But I've been able to grow and find family and to express that love in many different ways. And because of that, because of that shadow that's behind my back that I'm no longer scared of anymore, I'm able to reach out and help other people. And I really do believe that this is not it's a victory for sure, but this is not the end. And it's not the end of a fight to fight. It's that we have a door that's wide open now, and we are able to start looking at each other and loving the shame away from each other. And that starts with what Jesse always talks about, which is the peace within inside us. That starts with us saying in the mirror every day, I love you. Willing to be committed to love today. And my, only role, my only essential role in life is happiness. And I can't wait for us to, the amount of change since I was 18 years old to now, I'm 28, that has happened has been such, it was not a steady linear experience. It was people waking up rapidly, and it was happening because we were no longer scared of our shame. We're no longer scared of our shadows. We were no longer believing that, no, that wasn't meant for us, but that of course was meant for us, and that was happening to, around, through, and from us. And I'm so excited to be a part of this community right here. I got a chance to volunteer for Inspire at Long Beach during Pride, and with the beautiful Denise, and we were talking with my friend about what's the next step of Pride? Like, what is this gonna look like from now on? And I've talked about, me trying to distance my work from Pride, because Pride is an answer to rejection, and I don't believe in rejection anymore in my heart. But we were looking around, and there was, I bet half the tents at Pride Long Beach were like faith-based tents, and it was such a powerful, it's like we were reclaiming that, not because, we desperately need sanctuary, but because we were finding that spirit within inside us, and we were sharing the next generation that you can have a higher power of your own understanding. You can walk into a world where you are the healer, you are the teacher, and you are the lover. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming, and this has been such an amazing service.
You know, I'm so glad, Brandon, that you mentioned that it's not a victory. I'm going to invite everyone to really contemplate releasing the idea that it's a battle, that there's more battles to be won. There's more opportunities to forgive. There's more, and when I say there's more work to be done, there's more work to be done inwardly. Like I said, and I'll stand in it, because it's easy when we engage in debate with people who are not interested in having a spiritual path, which is fine, because we're all on a spiritual path, whether we know it or not. I'll just know that for you from way up here. But it's challenging to be unwavering in the belief of knowing that it's all an inward journey, that it is about true forgiveness. Forgiveness being the ability to see the face of Christ reflected back to us, no matter who's standing in front of us, meaning the face of innocence, okay? And this idea, it's oxymoronic to have that spiritual warrior thing, because the first act of attack is defensiveness. So there's nothing that we need to defend ourselves against. And that's challenging to explain to people who believe that there is something, that there is an opposition, that there is an opposing power, the bad guys who are trying to get it. No matter what laws are overturned, no matter what happens from this point on, it's still open door. It's always open doors. And perhaps we have to deepen our commitment to love ourselves unconditionally no matter what, and to extend that love to everyone who stands before us. We will never experience unconditional love until we believe that every person on this planet is deserving of unconditional love, of my unconditional love. And that's the next chapter, is really mastering that, the ability to practice and be in and align and express unconditional love, not only for ourselves, but for everyone. And allow that to be what fuels the out-picturing that we all get to experience and that we get to pass on to our children and our children's children. We're going to do a quick meditation on world peace. I'm going to invite you to sit on your little inspiration station. And after the meditation, go ahead and do a little songy song. Sure. And then we'll Tory basket, because we love to give from that infinite space of wealth and abundance. And we'll call it a successful Sunday, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, open your eyes. Just turn to the person you're sitting closest to and just say, "My God, you're gorgeous."
My God, you're gorgeous.
All right, it's taking a deep breath in. This is a deep breath of gratitude. As we exhale, we just release any stress or tension that appears to be in our body. We relax the bottom of our feet and our hands. We relax our tummies. We relax our shoulders and our jaws and the skin around our eyes and ears. Everything just melts away. And we breathe, and we gently allow our full attention to just be placed on our breath. The sensation of the air entering our nose or mouth and filling our lungs, and exiting, gently allowing our attention to fall there. And we go back to that ball of bright white light. That ball is expansive now. There's light everywhere. Bright white light filling our entire physical being. Every cell, atom, and electron of our physical being, our auric field, this whole room from floor to ceiling is bright white light. And I invite you to see in your mind's eye, in this light, a simple table that we will call a holy altar. And I invite you to place on this table any thoughts of self-criticism. Thoughts of, I'm too fat, I'm too poor, I'm too tall, I'm too this, I'm too that. Place any thought of, I should have gone to college, I should have gotten a different degree, I should have never broken up with, I should have paid more attention to, I should have loved more. Place all the regret on this table, freeing yourself of it. Place on this table anything that you're ashamed of, any little thing that you participate in that you feel is dirty or nasty or that you're embarrassed by. We're going to release any shame. There's nothing to be ashamed of. We're going to place that on this altar as well. And we're going to place any relationship that feels heavy or dysfunctional or codependent. And we're going to place anything else, any fear of finance, fear of health, fear of sickness, whatever it is, any concerns, any fears you have, place it on this altar. And we're placing it so that we can alter our perception of them. We are freeing ourselves of any chains of misperception, of an identification of a limited, worthless, loved person. We're shedding that skin so that we can, in the luminosity of our natural state of being, perfect love. I'll take a deep breath in and feel the freedom that comes from letting go of all these limiting thoughts and ideas and identifiers, these beliefs that no longer serve our commitment to live in love. And now I invite you to see your life 6 months from today. Leaving all of those things on the altar, just handing them over, giving them up. If you had no limitations, if you had no boundaries, if you had nothing holding you back, what does your life look like in 6 months from today? Everything has worked out perfectly. What does your life look like? How does it feel? How does it feel to be free? How does it feel to be working a job you love, to be surrounded by people you love, to be in a body you love? How does it feel? Tap into that feeling. Resonate with that. Who's around you? What are you doing? I invite you to see yourself at Inspire Spiritual Community 6 months from today. What does your spiritual community look like? What does the center look like? How many people are there? Are they smiling? How do you feel to participate in a loving spiritual community surrounded by friends and people who are lifting you up? See it. Lean into the feeling. And now, in your mind's eye, turn on the television, and the news report says we have achieved world peace. What does it look like? What does peace look like? How does it feel? Is it exciting? Are you happy? Are you content? Do you just feel that peacefulness? Can you exhale? Can you breathe? Returning to this bright white light, we extend it. And we just surround the planet with it. We see the entire planet, Mother Earth, our planetary hostess, surrounded, enveloped in the bright white light. Sending her waves of this light to every place where there appears to be disorder, disharmony, so that we can just rest right here, right now, in this moment. We can actualize and experience world peace within us. Knowing that through this process, we are adding to the vision. We are creating a center. We are building the possibility of peace. And so we just rest in peacefulness. Our hearts are open, our minds are open, and I just invite you to hold this vision of what does world peace look like. Seeing the planet surrounded by bright light as Richard continues this prayer with song.
Hey little brother, hey little sister, dodging them schoolyard sticks and stones. I want you to know that no matter where you are, you're not alone. You're not alone. There's a light there at the end of. There's a light shining. There's a light at the end of the rainbow, so hold on tight, just hold on. Hey little brother, sister, I know that you're feeling 2 feet small, but the pain is just for now. Time will come around, so stand up tall. Stand up tall. There's a light at the end of the rainbow. There's a light shining bright. There's a light at the end of the rainbow, so hold on tight. Yeah, hold on tight. For the doctors and lawyers, the teachers before you, the mothers and fathers who've endured the same strife. For the actors, the athletes, the rock stars still in hiding. And for Billion, Tyler and Asher and Seth, hold on tight. There's a light at the end of the rainbow. There's a light shining bright. There's a light at the end of the rainbow, so hold on tight, hold on tight, hold on tight, yes, hold on tight, just hold on.
I want you to keep playing a little bit, just, for effect. I'm going to invite Kelly to come up with the offertory basket. And this is our opportunity to share, to support, not with our intention and our vision, but through our contributions, our financial contributions, to support the growth and expansion of this community and our message. So I invite you to hold your offering to your heart. If you see someone putting in a plastic bill, it's because they're an auto tither. They set something up online, so we honor them and bow to them. And we just bless our offering, knowing that this comes from an infinite well good of prosperity, knowing that we give from this place of plenty, knowing that our money goes towards something good. We are honored to give. We are grateful to give and support this vision, this mission, this unfolding expression of perfect love on the planet, and how great it is to participate. So much good to offer. So beautiful. Grateful for you. We love you so much. In grace and gratitude, we release this word. We let it be. And so it is. And Richard, can you do one more verse? I love it.
Love is all we need. Timmy, Jenny loves Sue. How wondrous a world now that they can say I do. Oh. Jimmy loves Timmy and Jenny loves Sue, and love is me and you. Love is me and you. Love is all and all is me and you.
Yeah. If you'd like to make an offering with your credit card, you can do so at the table out there. Also, if you're interested in joining our kick-ass kickball team from Love, maybe a course in kickball is probably what we're going to land on. And Kelly is in a cake decorating class, so we all get to eat cake. However long she's in that class. So enjoy it. Have the best Sunday ever, and I love you all so much. Go out, shine, express, and enjoy your lives. Thank you.
I can't even. Seriously, it's really been great, but